Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna try to make this video as straight to the point as I can because the last few videos I've done have been like 20 minutes long and I just can't shut the heck up. I don't know what's wrong with me. So we're gonna get right to it today. But today we are back with another meat and bone test. So we've done a few of these in the past and you guys seem to like them pretty well. So I thought we would come back out and knock out another one today. But I was going through my videos the other day and I noticed that we've done these meat and bone tests with shotguns and handguns and AKs and everything else. And we have not done one with the AR-15, and that shocked me. So today, that's exactly what we're gonna do. So the AR-15 that we have, as always, is my BCM Recce 14. Really nice AR-15, and in the last few meat and bone tests that I've done, I've kind of experimented with different kinds of meat, and I think I've come to the conclusion that the pork shoulder is probably the best way to go. So we got a cooler full of bone and pork shoulders. Obviously there's a bunch of ice in there as well because it is 100 degrees out here today. Now we got 3 pork shoulders for this video, and the problem is the AR-15 has about 1,000 different kinds of ammo that I'm sure you guys would like to see. So today we're gonna start with 3 pretty basic ones, and then if you don't see what you like in this video, go ahead and let me know down in the comments and we can do parts 2, 3, and 4 and stuff like that down the road and hopefully cover some of that ammo that you guys would like to see. So that way we're not out here for an hour and a half shooting 15 different pork roasts, plus that would get pretty expensive and I get enough angry comments when I waste meat like this. So we're gonna stick to 3 today and we'll do more down the road. But unfortunately I have a pistol range on the other side of the property that would be perfect for this. It has a plate hanger and everything, but the sun is just so bright up there right now that the video would look like crap. So we are down on the new range and we actually just have a piece of string that I tied in between these 2 trees because we do not have a platform out here yet. And I'm just gonna try to hang these pork shoulders from this string and suspend them that way, and we have a tarp underneath it just to catch anything that falls so it doesn't get all, you know, dirty and muddy and stuff like that. But let's get started. All right, so we got our first pork shoulder hung up, and I like these because the whole backside is just all bone, so we're gonna hit meat and bone in this one. So the first round we're gonna test is just the Winchester white box 55 grain 5.56. Now this is obviously just a Target full metal jacket load, but this is probably like 90% of what people stockpile and hoard and prep with and stuff like that. So it is kind of important to see how this stuff does. So let's do it. I'm surprised it didn't knock it off of that thing. You know what, we might have just squeezed one more round out of this test because of where I shot this one. So this right here is actually the back side of that pork shoulder, and it's moving in and out. I'm not trying to make you guys sick here, but you can actually see the bone right there. I don't want to touch it, but right there is a bone, and it split that whole thing right in half, and then you can just see the massive exit wound on that pork shoulder. And like I said, that's all bone. All of them jagged edges that you see in there are just one big bone, and it looks like the actual hole is right there. Go around to the side that we actually hit, okay, and it looks like our bullet might have went in right there. It's kind of hard telling. Obviously the 5.56 is just a 22, you know, caliber bullet, so the entrance hole isn't too impressive, but that exit hole is actually pretty big and pretty nasty on the back side of this pork shoulder here. Give you guys one more look at it. You can see there, but we actually have the whole top half left and it's still hanging from our string. So I might go ahead and do our second round on the top half of this same pork shoulder. All right, so this is the one that I was gonna skip, but since we have a freebie out of this, I will go ahead and do it. So this is the 62 grain M855 green tip 5.56. Now, most of you guys know exactly what green tip is. It's, you know, really well known, and it's a steel core bullet, so it's really good at defeating hard barriers and stuff like that. But because of that, it's kind of got a bad reputation for damage, and it tends to just poke holes in stuff rather than tumble and, you know, do damage inside the body. So let's see what it does to our pork shoulder here. Try to go a little bit higher this time. A little bit higher this time. All right, so there's our entrance hole right there on the front side of that pork shoulder, and you can actually see all the way through to the other side of it. So go around to the back side here, and there is our exit hole. Pretty much exactly the same size on the front and back. So that actually demonstrated what I was talking about perfectly, and you can see how it just poked a straight hole right through this pork shoulder, whereas even the, just regular 5.56 target load did 10 times the damage exiting out the backside. So it's obviously really good at defeating hard barriers, but that right there is why people don't love it for combat or self-defense. All right, so this is one I'm really excited for. This is the Hornady Black 75 grain boat tail hollow point 223. So this is the first hollow point that we've shot. I don't know if you guys can see the hollow point on the end of that bullet there, but should do a little bit more damage. Let's see. Once again, I do have the bone facing straight at me, so we're definitely gonna hit meat and bone in this one too. Oh yeah. Most damage by far. Oh yeah. So I knew right off the bat that that one did the most damage because I saw meat fly back at me and like 20 feet off into the woods. So that was pretty impressive. All right, here is our entrance hole right there. Again, I'm gonna try to stop it from swinging so you guys can see, but that's definitely our entrance hole, and that is the bone side of the pork shoulder there. So on the back side here, you can see the absolute carnage that round did. Just completely blew it apart, blew the whole bottom out of it, and you can even see the bones inside of that pork shoulder as well. I mean, it just mangled probably a 10-inch diameter all the way around where that bullet hit. So pretty impressive. So I went ahead and just left that one hung up as well because pretty much the bottom half is all that was affected. So instead of the 3 rounds that I originally thought, we might get like 5 of them done today. So next up, I'm gonna go ahead and do the Federal Premium 40 grain 223 Ballistic Tip. Now this is a really cool looking bullet. You can see it's got that red tip on there, and 40 grains for a 223 is really light. These are screaming, and I've done some tests on these before, and they tend to just break apart really early, and they're kind of marketed as like a varmint round. So let's see what it does. Go for that top half again. Oh yeah, holy crap. That might have done more damage than the Hornady did. Oh yeah, holy crap. So unfortunately, my main slow-mo camera right here overheated while I was talking to you guys, so I don't think we captured that one in a high frame rate, but we do have the other slow-mo camera back there. It should have picked it up, but that was really impressive. I think our entrance hole is right here, right there towards the top of that pork shoulder, and then it just absolutely blew the entire inside of that thing apart. Now what's interesting is I don't see like an exit hole. I think that just this whole entire side over here got completely blown out by that one, and you can actually even see bullet fragments in that pork shoulder. I hope you guys can see those. There's one right there. I really don't want to touch this stuff, but I guess I'll do it. So that is a bullet fragment that I just pulled out of that pork shoulder, and they're all over. There's hundreds of them in there. So a lot of that bullet did break apart before it even went all the way through the bone on the backside. But I imagine a big chunk of it did penetrate all the way through and then kind of blew that whole backside out of the pork shoulder. Man, I love doing these tests. All right, next up we have the 55 grain Fort Scott Munitions Brush Hog 5.56. Now this is a bullet that's designed to tumble upon impact and do its damage that way. You can see the shape of that bullet. It's super pointy and really cool looking. So I've tested these before and they're really impressive. I don't know if the pork shoulder will give it enough room to actually tumble and, kind of do that maximum damage that it's supposed to, but let's see. Looks like it tore it up pretty good to me. I tell you what, that brush hog is a really soft shooting round for how devastating it is. It had almost no recoil. So here is the entrance hole on our pork shoulder from that brush hog. You can see it right there. Unfortunately, this thing rotated and I wasn't able to hit that bone side like I wanted to. But I still think there's bones in the middle of this thing. And you can see, I mean, it just put a softball size hole on the backside of that pork shoulder. Definitely no bullet fragments left over in that one. Every bit of that bullet definitely went all the way through. So unfortunately I didn't hit the bone. Like I said, maybe it would have done a little bit more damage, but that's still super impressive, and you can tell that it definitely tumbled and did quite a bit of damage in there. And this is the downside to doing a meat and bone test. There's about 10,000 flies swarming my tarp already. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this one up right here, guys. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, if you have any other 5.56 or 2.23 rounds that you would like to see me test in the future, go ahead and put your comments down below, and maybe we'll do a part 2 and 3 and stuff like that down the road and test some more ammo. So I know I'm gonna get a bunch of comments saying that I'm wasting the meat and stuff like that. I always do every time I do these meat and bone tests, and I know I'm wasting the meat, but like I said, I don't do these very often, maybe once, twice a year maybe, so I don't think it's too harmful. And like I said, my subscribers and viewers really like to see these videos, and I think it's a valid test, so that's why we do them. But if you like this video, guys, please let me know down in the comments, and as always, hit that like button for me. I would really appreciate it. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.